Part 2 of Daily Revision Audio. Main Examination Syllabus. Qualifying papers on Indian languages and English. The pattern of question will be broadly as follows for Indian languages and English. Number 1, comprehension of given passages. Number 2, precis writing. Number 3, usage and vocabulary. Number 4, short essays. And in case of Indian languages, one additional section will be translation from English to Indian languages and vice versa. Paper 1, Essay. Candidates may be required to write essays on multiple topics. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay, to arrange their ideas in orderly fashion, and to write concisely. Credit will be given for effective and exact expression. Paper 2, General Studies 1, Indian Heritage and Culture, History and Geography of the World and Society. Indian culture will cover the salient aspects of art form, literature, and architecture from ancient to modern times. Modern Indian history from about the middle of the 18th century until the present, significant events, personalities, issues. The freedom struggle, its various stages and important contributors or contributions from different parts of the country. Post-independence, consolidation and reorganization within the country. History of the world will include events from the 18th century such as Industrial Revolution, World Wars, withdrawal of national boundaries, colonization, decolonization, political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, etc., their forms and effect on the society, salient features of Indian society, diversity of India, role of women and women's organization, population and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues, urbanization, their problems and their remedies. Effects of globalization on Indian society, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. Salient features of world's physical geography, distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and the Indian subcontinent, factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector industries in various parts of the world, including India, important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc., geographical features and the location, changes in critical geographical features, including water bodies and ice caps, and in flora and fauna and effects of such changes. Paper 3, General Studies 2, Governance, Constitution, Polity, Social Justice and International Relations. Indian Constitution, Historical Underpinnings, Evolution, Features, Amendments, Significant Provisions and Basic Structure. Functions and responsibilities of the Union and the States, issues and challenges pertaining to federal structure, devolution of powers and finances up to local levels, and challenges therein. Separation of powers between various organs, dispute redressal mechanisms and institutions. Comparison of the Indian constitutional scheme with that of other countries. Parliament and state legislatures, structure, functioning, conduct of business, powers and privileges, and issues arising out of these. Structure, organization and functioning of the executive and the judiciary, ministries and departments of the government, pressure groups and formal or informal associations and their role in the polity, salient features of the Representation of Peoples Act, appointment to various constitutional posts, powers, functions and responsibilities of various constitutional bodies, statutory, regulatory and various quasi-judicial bodies, government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues arising out of the design and implementation, development process and the development industry, the role of NGOs, SHGs, various groups and associations, donors, charities, institutional and other stakeholders, welfare schemes for vulnerable sections of the population by the center and the states, and the performances of these schemes, mechanisms, laws, institutions and bodies constituted for the protection and betterment of these vulnerable sections. Issues relating to the development and management of social sector or services relating to health, education, human resources. Issues relating to poverty and hunger, important aspects of governance, transparency and accountability, e-governance applications, models, successes, limitations and potential, citizens' charters, transparency and accountability, and institutional and other measures. Role of civil services in democracy, India and its neighborhood relations. Bilateral, regional, and global groupings and agreements involving India or affecting India's interests. Effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests. Indian diaspora. Important international institutions, agencies, and fora. Their structure, mandate. Paper 4, General Studies 3. Technology, Economic Development, Biodiversity, Environment, Security, and Disaster Management. Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development, and employment. Inclusive growth and issues arising from it. Government budgeting, major cropping patterns in various parts of the country, different types of irrigation and irrigation system storage, transport and marketing of agricultural produce and issues and related constraints, e-technology in the aid of farmers, issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies and minimum support prices. Public distribution system, objectives, functioning, limitations, revamping, issues of buffer stocks and food security, technology missions, economics of animal rearing. Food processing and related industries in India, scope and significance, location, upstream and downstream requirements, supply chain management. Land reforms in India. Effects of liberalization on the economy, changes in industrial policy and their effects on industrial growth. Infrastructure, energy, ports, roads, airports, railways, etc. Investment models, science and technology, developments and their application and effects in everyday life. Achievement of Indians in science and technology, indigenization of technology, and developing new technology. Awareness in the fields of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and issues relating to intellectual property rights. Conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, environmental impact assessment. Disaster and disaster management, linkages between development and spread of extremism, role of external and non-state actors in creating challenges to internal security, challenges to internal security through communication networks, role of media and social networking sites in internal security challenges, basics of cybersecurity, money laundering and its prevention, security challenges and their management in border areas, linkages of organized crime and terrorism, various security forces and agencies and their mandate. Paper 5, General Studies 4, Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude. This paper will include questions to test the candidate's attitude and approach to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life, and his problem-solving approach to various issues and conflicts faced by him in dealing with society. Questions may utilize the case study approach to determine these aspects. The following broad areas will be covered: ethics and human interface, essence, determinants and consequences of ethics in human action, dimensions of ethics, ethics in private and public relationships, human values, lessons from the lives and teaching of great leaders, reformers, and administrators. Role of family, society, and educational institutions in inculcating values. Attitude, content, structure, function, its influence and relation with thought and behavior, moral and political attitudes, social influence and persuasion. Aptitude and foundational values for civil service, integrity, impartiality and non-partisanship, objectivity, dedication to public service, empathy, tolerance and compassion towards the weaker sections. Emotional intelligence, concepts and their utilities and application in administration and governance, contributions of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and world, public or civil service values and ethics in public administration, status and problems, ethical concerns and dilemmas in government and private institutions, laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as sources of ethical guidance, accountability and ethical governance, strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance, ethical issues in international relations and funding, corporate governance, probity in governance. Concept of public service, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing and transparency in government, right to information, codes of ethics, codes of conduct, citizens charter, work culture, quality of service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges of corruption. Case studies on above issue.